In this video, I'm going to talk about how many times there's Christians refusing to pray for other Christians for certain reasons. Years ago, there was this church I was going to, and these two people, they refused to pray for me all because of the way I was dressed. They didn't like the kind of shirt that I was wearing. I was wearing a shirt of one of my favorite Christian metal bands, and they made it sound like as if the shirt was sacrilegious, it was anti-God, it was like of a cult, when God knows it wasn't. As a matter of fact, this the shirt of this Christian metal band, that band happens to be popular all over the United States and other parts of the world, and they're very serious about reaching out to people for Jesus Christ, bringing people to salvation through Jesus Christ. And they told me I need to get a new wardrobe. Well, it's just wrong to be praying for, refusing to pray for somebody because of their wardrobe. I mean, back in those days, that was my goth days. I'm not in the goth scene anymore. I mean, I'm still in the metal scene. I'm a Christian metalhead. I still wear all black. And back then I had long black hair. Now they didn't get on me about my hair, but they did get on me about the kind of shirt I was wearing, and including the kind of pants that I was wearing. I was wearing this big baggy pants that they cover up, pretty much they cover up your feet. These are the kind of pants that you get like at Hot Topic, trip pants in other words. So those two people, one of them was did security at that church. He also prayed for people, and the other person was a woman who's a prayer elder. Well, they had no right to refuse to pray for me because of the kind of shirt I was wearing and because of the way I was dressed. I mean, there are girls that come into that church, in the summertime, they'd be showing off like 80 or 90% of their skin, and I never hear anybody getting on them about the way they come dressed. They come to church dressed all slutty, and I bet if they asked people to pray for them, nobody would refuse. Well, Jesus said, if you're without sin, cast the first stone. Jesus also said, before you remove the speck from your brother's eye, take a look at the huge log that you have in your own eye. And also, the day that anybody can walk on water is the day they have the right to pass judgment on somebody, and they also have the right to refuse to pray for somebody. All because of the way they're dressed. I mean, that's ungodly. If anybody doesn't agree with me that it's ungodly to refuse to pray for somebody because of the way they're dressed, you take it up with God yourself. Now, I'm not going to argue with anybody. I mean, God's people can try to reason and justify all they want to, but it really is ungodly, and it's of the devil. If you refuse to pray for a brother or sister in Christ because not only the way they dress, but let's say if they have any tattoos or if they have any earrings. I mean, for one thing, that's a holier than thou mentality. I mean, you people out there, for those of you in Christ who are like that, you're no better than that person yourself. And who knows, maybe that one person might, in a way, they might just be a better Christian than you are. I'm not saying they are or not. I'm just saying. But then again, I just know for a fact that God is not well pleased with His people refusing to pray for other Christian people because of their garment, what they got on, or maybe even because of their hair. I mean, if you refuse to pray for somebody because of the way they look, their hair, piercings, even facial piercings, tattoos, the kind of shirt that they're wearing, anything you don't agree with, you need to take it up with God, because I mean that's just ungodly, and that sort of thing is of the devil. And again, remember, Jesus said, if you're without sin, cast the first stone. Because the person you refuse to pray for, if you have no right to pass judgment on them, since they have acting like they got sin in their life because of the way they're dressed, or if you think they have other sins in their life, because who knows, you might just have stuff, you might have gunk and junk and other garbage in your life, that's worse than what they got. So if you refuse to pray for somebody because of the way they look, what they got on, then you're doing exactly what the devil wants you to do. You don't believe me? Ask God yourself. And, end of discussion on that one. I'm not going to argue with anybody's disagreements or thoughts or second opinions or justifications on the matter. You refuse to pray for somebody. You think you should not pray for somebody because of what they got on. You take it up with God yourself. Ask God if you should or should not pray for them, and I know the kind of answer that God will give you. Thanks, and God bless.